How nude beaches have taught me confidence and freedom. Now, I want to go ahead and say that the first time I went to nude beach was not on purpose. It was in Lake Tahoe, and I just went to this beach because it looked like a good place to put my paddleboard. So I brought my paddleboard, and it was actually my first day of a fast when I decided to stop drinking and I decided to stop smoking. Big day for me. So I go to the beach and I'm chilling on my paddleboard just on the beach, and some guy rolls up in galaxy tights and a kilt, right? And I was like, whoa, that's a pretty interesting looking character. And we had a conversation for a while. I looked to my left and realized everybody there was naked. So I was like, that's interesting. And then he said, hey, man, like we were been talking for like 30 minutes. He's like, hey, man, is it cool if I just like get nude? And I was like, sure, I guess. And so he's naked. Literally everybody, the whole entire beach is naked besides me. And I kind of felt uncomfortable. Right. So, and I honestly, granted, like I've never been to a nude beach in the middle of the day or any beach at all and been naked around other people. So it was very much an edge for me. But I decided, I was like, you know what? Nobody knows me. Sure. Why not? I got naked too. But then I kind of like faced myself face down. So like my butt was just up and it wasn't a big deal. It still was a big deal for me, but looking back at it, it's not a big deal. Anyway, the reason I'm telling you this story is because like, this was a point in my life where everything kind of changed. And I looked back on my life and why was I so uncomfortable with being naked? First of all, because I was next to a man, and for some reason that made it more weird for me due to my like programming or whatever. And then around somebody I didn't know. And then on top of that, like I remember back when I was like in middle school, I was going to the bathroom in a urinal, and some older guy, like 3 years older than me, and three classes older than me, looked over at me and he like made fun of, he said with like that, I was like that my penis was small, right? And he was like, "Oh, like oh, it's so small." Like, first of all, like, why was this dude looking at me in the stall? Like, that's just, I'm not in the stall, like in the urinal. Like, that's just weird. But it like really impacted me. So like from then on, I thought that it wasn't, I was below average or I didn't have a big enough penis, which is like when you're a kid or like growing up, like, it's a big deal, right? You think you're like insufficient, like not man enough, right? This weird stigma of having a small penis, right? It's like something, a big diss. And so for a lot, like for most of my life, I wasn't comfortable being naked unless like I was aroused. I know this is a lot of information, but I'm just being real with you. And there's a lot of guys out there that are like, their confidence sometimes can be dependent on their size. And I think that that's ridiculous, but it wasn't ridiculous for me at the time. So fast forward to this point where I'm next to this man in Lake Tahoe in galaxy tights, and we're just having like a normal conversation still, no problem. Um, the next day, we go like we end up camping together. Like he has his own like cool school bus. He invites me to come camp at this campsite. It was dope. We built a fire. He had a drone. And the next day, we go up to this river, and he meets up with his friends. He's two friends that are like weed trimmers up in California, and they're women. And same thing, another opportunity. Hey, we're gonna go jump in the river naked. And I was like, oh gosh. Okay, so now there's two women that I don't know. I'm gonna jump in this cold, freezing cold river in the middle of the day. Like my first thing was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And like he's already naked. I'm like, wow. Like I'm like comparing penis sizes. Like it's just ridiculous what goes on in our brains, but it was real to me. And I'm like, oh, well, it's gonna be like cold. I'm like measuring things up. Like, oh, they're gonna think like I'm not as good as he is. Like ridiculous, right? But it was real at the time. And so finally I was like, whatever, I'm gonna do it. So I took down my shorts, jumped in the water, um, ended up like just floating around, doing the thing, coming back out. And that was like my second test. So the first test was like getting naked. Second test, literally the next day, getting naked in front of women in the cold water. Very big test. And to me, like I passed it. I wasn't covering myself. I was whatever. So what's happening, right, is like the universe just like put these two difficult situations in my life, right? And I had two choices. One, cower in fear because of that one moment that happened in middle school, or break past that fear and realize that people aren't going to poke fun at me, point at me, and call me names anymore. Like, I'm grown up, and the people are respectful who are naked, usually, right? So, to be honest, that kind of sparked everything. And then I remember going to New Zealand, rolling in on this beach that was a naturist beach, which I didn't know what naturist meant, but apparently it meant nude, right? So I went over to New Zealand and it's a naturist beach and everybody was naked. So like, why not? Nobody here is gonna ever see me again. Why not? So as I traveled, I kept like running into these nude beaches on accident. And but then I realized that when I like took my clothes off, like I felt really free. I felt really confident that I could be completely protected from barriers and just be me raw. This is who I am. And realize that nobody was like staring at me. Nobody was laughing. Nobody was being weird about it. I was just another naked dude. And that really brought so much freedom to me and confidence because I had the story that really crippled me for a while. And I remember there was another instance where some girl was like making fun of me to my friend. I, I don't know the validity of the statement, but it's like those little tiny things like sting you and they scar you and they hurt you. But this different, like this completely different spectrum was being able to be fully raw, naked in a place that is acceptable and is respected, right? Like respected meaning like everybody there is just being there to express themselves and be free. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, because now every time I see or I hear about a nude beach in a new location, like there was one in Thailand, there was one in Brazil, there was one in India, believe it or not, I'm just like, I'm down. Like it's not even a debate. It's like I'm going. And I usually go by myself. I'm not like one of the, like I'm not like somebody like, hey, what's up? Like, you want to go to the nude beach? No, it's not like that. It's like I'm going to go by myself because I feel free, right? So the reason I'm telling you this whole story is because today I went to a beach called Playa Linda, and it's over by Titusville, just about an hour east of Orlando, and it's notoriously known for a nude beach. If you go all the way towards the end, like at the marker 13, it literally has a sign that says you may see nude sunbathing. So it's like very known that people go nude there. So that's my favorite part of the beach because it's an option. You don't have to be nude, but you can, right? So I went with my friends. A friend is a girl and a friend who's a guy. Did I go nude? Yes, I'm getting to that. And so there's like you go left, it's fully nude. Like the first thing we saw was like two nude, like naked dudes, right? And I was like, to me, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go. And to my friends, they're like, oh my gosh, they've never really seen it before. So I asked them, I said, hey, do you want to go left, which is the nude part, or do you want to go right? They said it's up to you. So guess what I said? Let's go left. So we went left. They were hanging out. It was a little cold. So I decided to go a little bit back past the brush where there was not as much wind. And like, because my friends like maybe weren't 100% comfortable with me just sitting next to them butt naked, I was like, let me just create this little oasis for myself out of the wind. So it's nice and warm and I could sunbathe and I could dance and have a good time. I had a freaking blast. Like so much fun dancing, just like soaking up the sun. Like I had a blast. And like they were like having a deep conversation behind me, which was cool. I'm like, I'm still with them, but I get to have my own little private oasis. So then after that, I was like, you know what? I want to walk down the beach naked dancing. So I like told my friends what I was doing in my sarong, so I wasn't naked yet. I said, I'm just warning you, when I go left and I start walking, I'm gonna like make this a belt, put my speaker on my belt, and I'm gonna dance pretty much naked. And so I did that. I didn't get very far until I saw another person, and I saw this like actual like kind of peninsula, like like Pride Rock in Lion King where there's like a peninsula where they kind of like walk out to. I don't know if the word's a peninsula, but you know what I mean. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. Like there's a sand dune with that peninsula like thing. I want to dance on that. But I saw somebody there. So I was like, oh, do I really want, and they were in close. So I was like, I don't know if I really want to get that close to them. I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going. So I walk up on this peninsula and I'm just like dancing, shaking. And right away, this guy comes over to me and says, hey, would you like a couple pictures there? And I was like, nah, like I'm okay. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. Yeah, let's do it. So this random guy on the beach starts like I literally started getting like this photo shoot. I'm naked, butt is out. Um, and he's just like getting every single angle. He's a photographer. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Taking all these photos of me. And I was like, hey, like, do you want photos of yourself too? He's like, yeah, sure. So right away, homeboy just derobes shirt and pants like so quick. And he has like not one tan line on him. So he's done this before. And he like does all sorts of poses. But the thing was, it's like the reason that I'm saying this is it went from one, my first experience, super uncomfortable, super not confident, like insecure because of this bullshit that happened in middle school. And then one time, kind of like in college, to like, there's a man I've never met before, and we're doing a nude photo shoot. And why is this so different? Because like I've been to a whole bunch of nude beaches before and I've gained my confidence of being 100% raw and comfortable with my body to the point where I don't care. Like it doesn't matter if somebody's taking a photo. I think it's cool. And we had a normal conversation. He was nude, I was nude. Didn't feel uncomfortable at all. I literally felt like 100 like it was normal. And it just brings about so much confidence within myself knowing that no matter what angle I'm at, no matter how many clothes I have, I still feel confident in my body because I've built this body. I've worked on this body. I tan this body. I do all the things, right? And it builds the confidence and it builds like the freedom. If I could have one word on how it feels to go to a nude beach and derobe, freedom, 100%. And I wouldn't like recommend like being like, oh, I'm gonna go to the nude beach. Let's go with a whole bunch of friends. Like I would recommend going with somebody who maybe has already done it, like who you really trust, like who normally goes to nude beaches and they're totally cool with it. And you may not have to go like 100% naked. Maybe just go like in like a what are those things called? A speedo or topless. Like you can take steps. You don't have to go straight into it like I did. I mean, I kind of technically use my paddleboard as clothing for the first time, but like the feeling that you get from it is like almost indescribable. Like there's nothing else. It's like an adrenaline rush. Right when you derobe, it's like yes, freedom, boom, right away. And you might feel some discomfort, some insecurities might come up, but you push through them. And the fun exceeds, like when you go somewhere that you'll never see somebody like again, who cares? You gotta remember that. Who cares? But that builds the confidence if you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it so that when it comes when it comes down to a time like where you want to like change or derobe, you're like, I don't care. Bam. And like the people that are there, like they come there and they do it all the time. And you can say whatever you want. Like people are like, oh, well, people go to nude beaches are fat and old. Like at least they're confident in their bodies. At least they're not putting filters and crap like that on their bodies. And like using those contouring, you know, editors to make them have a small waistline and a small waist and a big booty. Like they're raw and they're real and they're doing what they love to do. And the people what I've experienced in nude beaches are very respectful. I never felt uncomfortable next to this man. I felt very good and seen and like we were on the same page. Like I get you, you get me. Boom, that's it. So if you really like have any little insecurities about things that might have happened in middle school, high school, throughout your life, and you want to be able to push through them, the only way to do that is to get out of your comfort zone. And if it's uncomfortable for you to, get naked in a place where there's other people you don't know, then it could be a good test to get you past that discomfort and then bring you to confidence and freedom and overcoming those insecurities. So, what do you guys think? Would you do this? Would you do a nude photo shoot with somebody you just met? Put them in the comments below, and I'll reach out to you if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again tomorrow.